We now welcome Kai Rogers onto the YouTube channel. Kai, thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So let's start, I guess, first things first. You're committed to JMU. You started your career at the D3 level, moved to St. Francis. Now you're coming to the FBS. What has that journey been like for you to start D3 and then a couple years later be at a top tier G5?
Yeah, and it's been a journey, man. That's all. It's been a journey. It's, not a commonly seen path
No.
for many people at all. But I've always had that kind of belief in myself, that I can go play at that highest level. I think every day I'd go to work that way, you know what I mean? Taking that approach like, okay, this isn't my final stop. Okay, this isn't my final stop. Like, just keep finding ways to elevate my game and elevate myself as a person, so I can put myself, in this position to have done what I've done. And I think the guys along the way definitely have helped me, in terms of like the belief and the confidence in myself. Like when you have people around you who support you, it makes you feel that much more confident about yourself and kind of helps you get along through that process. So I think those guys definitely help, but absolutely just a mindset thing. I feel like I've always known that I can play, at a higher level. So,
Awesome. Yeah. What was that process like then when you jumped into the portal, this time the recruitment process? What stood out about JMU and what other schools were looking at you?
so it's just funny. So this portal process was completely different than my first one, right? Because
Yeah.
first one, obviously, a D3 guy, it's a lot harder to get, looks from the Division 1 level. So I was getting a lot of D2s in that first time, but luckily, St. Francis reached out to me, um, gave me something that I just couldn't turn down. So ended up going there, and now after having a productive season at the Division 1 level, I found myself in it again. And prior to entering the portal, I really had an idea about JMU already. Um, I was fond of JMU.
Mhm.
I know some guys. Uh what is it? Stephen Hollider and Evan Spivey, sorry.
Mhm.
Um, came out of high school straight to JMU, and I'm like damn, like I would definitely go to JMU. But it's been in my mind since before, and then the visit I feel like kind of just wrapped it up for me. Seeing everything they had to offer, feeling the energy of the coaches, which was probably like the biggest thing for me. The facilities are great. Just really a great environment to be in, a great culture, a winning culture. So stuff like that definitely helped me, make that decision.
Awesome. Yeah. How do you feel like you fit in? I guess with Jamie, you mentioned the culture, but then they're losing a bunch of corners to graduation. I know you've got that 6'2" size. I guess how do you feel like your playing style can fit in with a defense that was top of the FBS in turnovers this past year?
Um, I think I fit in just fine. You know what I mean? I feel like I add a little bit, obviously more size to the cornerbacks room, and bring a little bit of physicality, a little bit of edge defensively that can, I feel like really help propel any program. But what I'm saying, just really coming here to be able to, help in any way that I can. Hopefully bring some versatility, some experience. Um, yeah, things of that nature. I feel like my play style is pretty adaptable to any situation. So, I can press, I can play zone, I can play off, and I'll come down and tackle. So I feel like that's definitely something that I'd be bringing to the defense, and trying to help them, maintain their reputation as one of the best G5 conferences. I mean, teams in the conference.
What was it like to, I guess, have that 6'2" size, speed, length when you were playing at the D3 level? Was it was it a spot where you felt like maybe you were a mismatch for almost every receiver you faced?
I mean, absolutely. That's how you go into every matchup, though. You know what I mean? You can't line up across from somebody and think that they have anything on you. So, it definitely was it definitely was a little bit different, I'd say. But back then, I can admit it. Like I was playing a lot more with athleticism than technique
Mhm.
at the time. So it was like a lot different, I guess, of a
Yeah.
situation. But you see those discrepancies and the things that I can do that other people may not be able to do, and that's part of what led me to believe in I can move up. But it was it was definitely a fun time, I can tell you that.
I know Bob Chesney in the past and some of the coaches have were at the D3 level and then the D2 level, so they've connected with some guys that way. Did they talk about that at all in terms of sort of the chip on the shoulder and what it's like to come up from those lower levels?
Absolutely. So even me and Coach Chesney had a conversation as well, just about our paths and how they're pretty similar, working your
Hmm.
way the lower level up and up, you know what I'm saying? Just continuing to elevate. So that's just something as well that you can kind of like find to be relatable with the coaching staff for me. That helps me, feel like this is probably like the place for me and things of that nature. So I think those type of things just come together and just make it a really good situation for me.
Awesome. What's it like too, schedule wise? Obviously you had the D3 schedule early. I know JMU's got Louisville next year, and they'll also host Washington State. What's it going to be like for you to have those types of games where you're on the field competing against, Power Four opponents?
Man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, man. Definitely an opportunity to show myself to the world. So, world who I know I am. But comparing it obviously to a D3 schedule, it's worlds apart. You know what I mean? Worlds apart. But for me personally, I feel like I prepare for everybody the same way. That won't really change for me. I'll continue to prepare and try to, better myself in any way I can, try to find, things that they can do that they can't do, you know what I mean? Just singling those things out and just getting myself mentally and physically prepared for those games. And um honestly, just go about it like a regular game, man, just another game for me. So that's really what I think of it.
Awesome. We like to ask some of the bigger defensive backs if they prefer like a hard hit, you're knocking a guy off his feet, or an interception. Are you leaning interception, or the big hits have a sweet spot for
That's a tough one because
you?
the big hits they get you. Get you. But at the same time, there's nothing like the feeling to turn the ball over,
Yeah.
giving your offense a chance to score. I think I definitely go with an interception for sure. The big hits come a lot more frequently than interceptions do. So I definitely call it interception.
That's fair. And then I was curious if you model your game after any NFL guys. I know it sounds like you've spent a lot of time the last couple of years studying technique and things like that. Are there any pros that you sort of look up to at the corner position?
So for me, absolutely, it's Pat Surtain, man. I think Pat Surtain's one of the cleanest cornerbacks that you can watch, technique wise. He's got the size as well. So I also like when I try to look at the guys in the league, who I want to model my game after. Obviously, I'm looking at the guys who are bigger, seeing how they play routes, how they play people, and things of that nature. So yeah, Pat Surtain is definitely one of those guys. But a guy that I really like personally really love to watch is J.C. Horn. I feel like
Yeah.
he's one of the most technically sound corners you can watch, eye level, eye discipline, the hips, all of it. I just feel like he's one of those guys that I would definitely say I model my game after those two guys.
And then the other question we always love to ask, especially DBs and wide receivers, but are you more like the silent assassin type, or are you talking to a guy all game if you've got it going?
Oh man, it depends. It really depends because I can play both. I can do
Yeah.
both. If I'm playing in a game and I feel like, the guy on the other end is a more respectful guy, like he's not really drawing too much.
Yeah.
I won't do too much, do all that. But if there's a guy who's out there and he feels like he's better than me, he's trying to let me know, then I'm gonna get a little bit more more amped up, get into it for sure. But as much as I love to say I'm the big exuberant guy, I'm really just like if I make a play, I make a play. You know what I mean? Sometimes I celebrate, sometimes I won't. But yeah, it really just goes with the flow of the game and how it's going.
Yeah, I think that was the answer for most JMU DBs last year, and the receivers were the opposite. JMU had some receivers who were talking a lot, but that's awesome. Congrats on the commitment. And then I guess when do you get on campus? You're a winter guy. You're gonna be in there in the summer. When do you get to JMU?
Yeah, I'll be entering this next semester, so I'll be
Okay, yeah,
coming January 21st
yeah,
when they
whatever it is. Yeah,
the spring semester. So yeah, I'll be up there for that.
awesome. Congrats. Yeah, congrats on the decision. And I know JMU fans are excited to have you on the roster.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.